all over me. This must be underwater love, the way I feel it.
She set world records all over the world in open water swimming and is considered one of the best ocean swimmers of our time. She even surprised scientists, surviving a 1.2 mile swim in the cold water of Antarctica. Water so cold they can kill. Not only surviving, but striving, Lynn was named Los Angeles Times Woman of the Year, inducted into the International Swimmer Hall of Fame in 2000, honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award from the University of California, Santa Barbara, and is a renowned author and speaker. Her mission is to bridge gaps between countries and cross unbreakable borders, to inspire people to follow their dream and live their life to the fullest. Hi, my name is Orion, and it is my great pleasure and honor to interview with a legend champion swimmer about her journey and about her triumph of the human spirit. Hi everybody, I am here with Lynn Cox. She's the most amazing woman I've ever met in my life. She broke, seriously, I've never met anybody like you.
There are many amazing people.
No, don't listen to her. She's very modest. And she was willing to do this interview, and thank you so much.
My pleasure.
So why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself?
I started doing these open water swims when I was 14 years old. Swam from Catalina Island to the mainland of California. It was 27 miles that we swam, and I swam with two boys and another girl, and it took us 12 hours and 36 minutes. And we were really cold and really tired when we landed on the California coast. But I decided then that I wanted to swim across the English Channel. And my friends decided they never wanted to do a long swim again. They had had it. They were like tired and cold. So I went to my parents, who were really, really big supporters of me and of my older brother and sisters, and helped me train, along with the Olympic coach, a guy named Don Gambrell, to swim anywhere from, I'd say, 5 to 10, up to 15 miles a day to prepare for the English Channel. So when I was 15 years old, I went to England with my goal of breaking the world record, and my mom went with me on the boat. You have a support boat that guides you across, and you have a person on board who's an official who watches you as you're swimming, and then you have a pilot who's like a Sherpa who guides you across the English Channel. And I was so lucky because I got the most qualified man, a man named Reg Brickell, and he had taken the most English Channel world record breaking swimmers across the English Channel. So I connected with him, and he helped me swim the English Channel. I wound up swimming for 9 hours and 57 minutes, and I broke the women's time by about an hour and the men's world record by about 20 minutes.
Wow. And how did that feel?
It was great. It was so great because, when you are setting off to swim English Channel, it's a big deal, because the tides, the currents, the wind, the weather, all of it affects you. And you usually start swimming the English Channel at night because it's calmer. So you have to be in your pace, and you have to push yourself for hours and hours and hours. And then with the English Channel, the thing that makes it so difficult is like running a marathon and then having the finish line move backwards because you get caught in the tidal change. So to see the shore move backwards and look at it and go, ugh, and know that you have to swim faster after you've been swimming really hard for 7 or 8 or 9 hours, right. It's really tough. But I managed to get ashore, and it was so cool to realize I'd broken the world record for men and women when I was 15 years old.
Wow. And since then, what happened? What happened at age 16, 17, 18, 19?
I did a bunch of other swims. My time was broken by a man named Davis Hart out of Massachusetts. So the first time I swam the English Channel, I swam 30 miles. The second time I went back, I swam 33 miles, and I broke his time, I think, by 20 minutes. And then decided that I could spend my life swimming the English Channel. And there are people that do that, where they go back year after year after year and swim it. One friend, Des Renford from Australia, swam it, I think, 30 times. And I think that there are others that have done more than that now. But I realized that, it's like life. Why would you want to keep repeating the same thing over again? The English Channel changes all the time. Every time you swim it, it's different, but I really wanted to do something more than that. So I went to swim across Cook Straits between the North and South Island of New Zealand. And that was a much tougher swim than I ever expected because the currents were really strong. And after 5 hours, instead of making it across to the South Island, I'd been going backwards for 5 hours. So that was that. But I had a crew and I had people from all over New Zealand that were calling the ship, the boat, support people and saying, "Keep going, Lynn, you can do it." So I kept going, and then after 12 hours and 2.5 minutes, I made it across.
Did you have any fears doing it? How do you conquer the fear of doing such incredible challenge?
You do funny things. You make each other scared. You laugh at each other. When I was training with friends to swim Catalina, we would intentionally bump into each other and make each other scream, or we'd come up from underneath and grab each other's feet, and we'd laugh and scream and all that. And it was partly to get over the fear. The reality is that you're afraid when you're swimming across a channel at midnight or 2 or 3 in the morning, and the water's pitch black. You feel things moving underneath you, and it can make you so scared. But the thing is that you have to realize you've got support boats around you, and if something goes wrong, when in doubt, get out. When it's like you just feel it's wrong, then you get out. But for the most part, you just focus on what you're trying to do. If you focus on the fear, you'll never do anything. And the fear's there, though, to make it safer. Because if you weren't afraid, then there's something wrong. You should be afraid that the fog could come in, or the boats might run you over, or that you might get separated from your support boat. Those are really good fears to have. And so then you go, okay, so what do I do? What do I do to plan so that the boat doesn't get separated from me? How do I make sure I have crew on board that are watching me all the time? What do I do if it's foggy? What kind of plan do I have? So all those things are, okay, fear is a way to protect yourself. And so how do you do it? Yeah.
How do you get into the mindset of, I am going to break a world record? That's not a common thing whatsoever.
Well, actually, it was for me because my parents moved my older brother and my 2 younger sisters and me to California so we could train with Don Gambrell, who was a 4-time Olympic coach, swimming coach. And he attracted the best swimmers from all around the world. So I'm in the slowest lane in lane 8. I'm the slowest swimmer, and I'm looking over at Gary Hall, who'd get a gold medal in the 100-meter butterfly. I think it was in 3 Olympic Games he got gold medals. Hans Faschnut from Germany, who would get silver medal in the relay for the German team. Gunnar Larsen would be a gold medalist. Shirley Babashoff would get gold and silver. The Furness brothers get silver and bronze. So I was in this pool with swimmers from all over the U.S. that were the best, but all over the world that were the best. And I'm like, I want to be like them.
Oh, wow.
It's like it really does matter who you hang out with.
Yes.
It does matter. Your mindset is determined by the people around you. And if you have people around you that are like dragging you down, then let them drag someone else down. It's like, reality is we need to help each other and we need to be there for each other. But if somebody's like totally negative all the time, you can't do that, that's not possible, it's not worth it, give it up, why are you doing that? Then you kind of go, I know this person doesn't understand what I'm trying to do and isn't going to understand what I'm going to do. So it's better to find people who understand me and want to support what I'm doing. Huge support makes a big difference.
Wow. Thank you. That's amazing. I love it. Can you tell us a little bit about how you actually connected some countries in the world? And she's actually a pioneer in bringing world peace in a way. One woman that changed dynamics between countries. Can you tell me about your crossing was it Jordan?
Oh, I did a swim.
Yeah, that swim.
From Egypt to Israel and from Israel to Jordan as a way to celebrate the progress of peace in the Middle East. So I was able to get permission to work with the Egyptians and swim from Egypt to Israel. So we worked with the Egyptian Navy and the Israeli Navy and the governments. And then I swam from Eilat, Israel to Aqaba, Jordan, and had the support of the Israelis and Jordanians. And when I finished the swim, the Queen Noor wound up having a celebration for us in Aqaba, Jordan. So it was a way to really celebrate the progress and positive stuff going on in the Middle East.
That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Insane. You're amazing. Ah!
No, you just have to have the idea first. And then you have to have friends around you who go, oh, that's really cool. How can I help? But more often than not, you get people that say it's not possible. When I was trying to swim the Bering Strait from Alaska to Siberia to open the border between the U.S. and Soviet Union, people wouldn't even talk to me. You know, people in politics and governments, in either governments, you know, the U.S. Soviet Union initially just didn't take me seriously, and I just had to keep working at it for 11 years.
Take this woman seriously. You hear me? She ain't joking around.
You just keep at it. Yeah.
Well, what's your life's mission?
You know, I think that's a great question.
Thank you.
I think my life's mission is to do things that really stretch me, but then inspire others. And that's why I've written, like, Swimming to Antarctica was my first book. And it was about all these different adventures through the years. But more than that, it was like people who believed in me, who saw the possibility in what I was doing, and some of the really challenging things that I went through to achieve the goals. So that was my first book, and that was a way to explain, you know, what it's like to swim in Antarctica in a swimsuit, cap and goggles, 1.22 miles in 0 degrees C or 32 degrees. So that was my first book. And then I wrote a second book about a baby whale that started following me, and his name was Grayson. He was lost. He had lost his mom. And the old man that ran the bait shop said, you have to help him find his mom. And so I spent 5 hours swimming off the Pacific Ocean looking for Mom. And that book has been translated into 18 languages now, because I think that people realize that there is a connection between us and other beings. And I think that people relate to losing their little brother or big brother or sister or whatever, or a parent losing a child, and how you keep hunting for them until you find them, you know.
How did the reunion happen?
Mom found us. She kept looking and looking, found us. So that was like my second book. The third book is like one of the most challenging books that I've written, because I went back to the original sources and looked at Roald Amundson's letters and journals, and he was the first man to sail through the Northwest Passage above Canada and Alaska, and he was also the first man to reach the South Pole and get back safely. And so his life was a template of exploration, but also achievement. And so I looked at that as a way to look at, okay, what's my next goal? What can I do? And I looked at how he achieved what he did. And the idea was then I would follow in his footsteps and swim off of Greenland and Baffin Island and Purta Bay and Barrow, Alaska, where he sailed. And I would write about his journey and mine as a way for people to read this and go, okay, I don't want to go to Antarctica, maybe, or I do, but I have different goals, but I can see the process for achieving excellence. I can see what people have done to be able to do things that have been thought to be impossible. And so that's what I did. I mean, what I was reading about Amundsen, it was just like, he was camped out in minus 40 degrees centigrade, minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit, you know, and able to endure incredible things. And he was so smart because he picked a team of people that were amazing, that, you know, that's part of it too. You can't do these things alone, you know.
Breaking so many records again and again and again, what's the driving force, and where do you get the motivation from?
I think at first, you know, it's because I was around people that were wanting to be the best at what they did. You know, that whole thing of seeing others excel and wanting to be like that. So that was the motivation. And then it became like, I really want to use the swims as a ways to open borders. You know, I did, after the Bering Strait and after the Gulf of Aqaba, I did a swim in the Beagle Channel between Argentina and Chile, very southern tip of South America, as a way to get the navies and governments of both countries, of Argentina and Chile, to work together. And it worked, and it was a swim that nobody in the world had ever done before, and it was extremely cold and long. It was 42 degrees and over 3 hours to do it. So I think that it's a creative force. It's like, what do you dream of? What do you want to do? I mean, when you're training people, you see within them who they are, but then you see what they can be, and you also recognize the steps to help them get there. And so that's, you know, I've done that too, where I've coached triathletes or swimmers, and you realize that, wow, they're going to see how far they can go. And that's so exciting, you know, to take somebody that never swam before and then help them start to swim, or to take somebody that's really at a high level and then get them to do better.
Wow.
There's something really rewarding in that.
I can't Um, do you have any message you want to send our viewers?
You know, I think the biggest message is that life is one time, and you've got to do what you need to do while you're here. You know, that's it. And so people may or may not understand what you're trying to do with your life, but you got to do it, and you got to realize that sometimes your path changes along the way, and you adjust and you alter it. But we all have a reason for being here, I think, and I think it's really satisfying to set goals for yourself and see them realized. Sometimes it's incrementally, and sometimes it's all at once. More often than not, it's incrementally. but it's worth doing because it's your life and it's your dream.
Now, if people want to know more about you, get your books, learn about your incredible life, where can they go?
They can look on the web, lynncox.org. I have, you know, Swimming to Antarctica, South of the Sun, and Grayson are listed, but I'm also just about ready to come out with another book, and South of the Sun's going to come out in paperback in November, so I'm really excited about that. And then I do corporate lectures all over the U.S. and around the world, so I have some of those pieces of those talks posted there, and I think I did a TED Talk and recently a Chicago Ideas Week talk, and that'll be posted in December.
I am speechless. Oops, I even spilled my coffee. Cheers! Cheers! Thank you so much. One incredible woman.
Dá-me sentir quando parecida esse amor. This is it, underwater love. It's so deep, so beautiful and liquid.
I'm very honored to have you here, and I'm very grateful that you accepted this interview.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Should I take this off so you can talk too? I think it just fell down my shirt. Now we'll go like this. Now we'll try again.
Okay. So
This must be underwater love. The way I feel it is slipping all over me. This must be underwater love.